Additionally, Pakistan has demonstrated that broad-based alliances are possible for key causes and that they can deliver results. The Pakistan Journalist Safety Coalition operates both at the federal and provincial levels to advocate for safety of journalists. It includes media associations, political parties, parliamentarians, national human rights commissions, digital and human rights groups, medical support groups, union of journalists, and press clubs. Working together, these stakeholders have ensured that the cause of safety of journalists has become a national cause in Pakistan that is linked to larger values of freedom of expression, human rights, and democracy. Their success has meant that Pakistani society now sees attacks against journalists and intimidation of media as an attack on democracy itself. In this way, the struggle of journalists is nurturing democracy in Pakistan, and this is not a small achievement. With these pluses, there are some minuses. There have also been a major reduction in the levels of murders of journalists in Pakistan since the UN Plan of Action galvanized Pakistani journalists and civil society to unite against the attacks. But murders still happen. Sometimes Pakistani journalists are not safe even outside Pakistan, like Arshad Sharif. The murders of only 2 journalists out of 53 journalists killed in Pakistan in the last 10 years have been convicted. And Pakistan must improve its capture and conviction of attackers of journalists. All the journalists killed in the line of duty, including Arshad Sharif, must get justice. And we are thankful to Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif that he wrote a letter to the Chief Justice of Pakistan for making a commission to investigate the assassination of Arshad Sharif. And last year, when Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was in opposition, and our colleagues Asad Tur and Absar Alam were attacked in Islamabad, so he not only visited them, but also raised voice against violence against journalists. Now he is the Prime Minister, and we hope that he will try his level best to find out the culprits who attacked Asad Tur and Absar Alam. The Pakistan Journalist Safety Coalition thinks the following steps can dramatically help reduce impunity of crimes against journalists in Pakistan, so that Pakistan not only has the world's best laws on safety of journalists, but also the safest journalists in the world. The federal and Sindh laws on safety of journalists were unanimously passed by National Assembly and Sindh Assembly last year. The federal and Sindh governments must immediately notify the safety commissions under these laws so that they can be operationalized and journalists start benefiting from them. Laws were passed, but we are still waiting for the implementation. The Safety Commission must be provided funds, offices, staff, and technical resources to do their jobs. The journalists of Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and Punjab also deserve special laws for their safety like their counterparts in federal and Sindh jurisdictions. The ruling and opposition parties must show unanimous support to pass similar laws in these 3 provinces immediately. The Safety Coalition is already advocating with these provincial assemblies to fast-track this process. The draconian Section 6 from the Federal Journalist Safety Law, which acts as a pre-qualifier for journalists before benefiting from the law, must be immediately removed. This Section 6 was included in the Journalist Safety Bill without our consent. I still remember that when we agreed on a final draft of the Journalist Safety Bill, I showed that draft to late I.E. Rahman Saab, who was the president of the Safety Commission, and this organization, which is the organizer of this seminar. And Mr. Ayyar Rahman Sahab was very happy, and he said that it's a miracle if it is passed in Pakistan. And Section 6 was not part of that original bill. We agreed on the bill in the Human Rights Committee of the National Assembly. All of us were present. It was presided by Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. He was in the opposition at that time. After that meeting, Section 6, which is a censorship clause, was mysteriously included in that bill. So we demand to remove that censorship clause in the Journalist Safety Bill. There is already support from both government and opposition parties for its removal, and this should happen quickly. Combating cybercrime is essential to safe internet, but this must not be an excuse to hound media practitioners. As repeatedly stated by the Honorable Islamabad High Court, journalists must be taken out of the purview of any restriction on online expression through laws such as PICA or other regulations. The federal and provincial government must announce support for an end to restrictions, attacks, and intimidation of women journalists, both offline and online, because without women's safety able to practice journalism, Pakistan cannot have public interest journalism. And I must mention the name of Asma Shirazi Sahaba, Nigat Dad Sahaba, and some other female journalists who are present here. And they are living example of courage and bravery, because they faced online harassment very bravely, and we must salute their bravery. The National Commission on Human Rights, the National Commission on Status of Women, the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, and the Pakistan Journalist Safety Coalition should form an alliance for this purpose. Ahead of general elections next year, all political parties registered with the Election Commission of Pakistan must include a separate section in their manifesto guaranteeing safety of journalists, freedom of expression, and right to information. We believe these widely supported steps can dramatically put Pakistan in the top ranks of the safest countries to practice journalism. In the end, I would like to thank my colleagues at the Pakistan Journalist Safety Coalition, especially Iqbal Khatak Saab and Adnan Rahmat Saab, for facilitating this conference, UNESCO, the Pakistan Federal Union of Journalists, and the International Media Support, Reporters Without Borders, for supporting cause of India freedom and safety of journalists throughout these years. And we are all grateful to the Prime Minister, Mian Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif Saab, and his Information Minister, Saiba, who is not here due to a death in her family, for their gracious time and support for the journalists for Pakistan. Once again, thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Hamid Mir Saab. International Media Support is an international civil society organization that has played a very important role in putting UN plan into